Now, I want to ask you something about the 14th Amendment, and if both of you could respond to it. It's simple. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. Is a woman included within that definition?
Yeah. A woman's a person.
You saw Justice Breyer made it clear to her a woman is a person. Don't you think it's important for you to understand what that word person is? Like, what, prior to that, a woman wasn't a person? How could a woman not be a person? Well, a woman is a person. I mean that she has a certain status, that she is a U.S. citizen. She's a U.S. citizen as well. It says U.S. citizens of the United States person. They use that exact same terminology every single time. We talk about persons, things like that.
I think that's well established.
Yeah, the issue is not whether a woman's a person. The issue
You know
is
where I'm going.
The issue is what constitutes equal protection.
Yes, all right. Are women included?
Yeah.
Of course they're included.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you.
But does equal protection mean that you have to have unisex toilets? I mean, that's the kind of question you have to get into.
This is your quote, Mr. Justice, in California. Certainly, the Constitution does not require discrimination on the basis of sex. The only issue is whether it prohibits it. It doesn't. Nobody ever thought that's what it meant. Nobody ever voted for that. If the current society wants to outlaw discrimination by sex, hey, we have things called legislatures, and they enact things called laws. So why doesn't the 14th Amendment then cover women?
The 14th Amendment, Senator, does not apply to private discrimination. I was speaking of Title VII and laws that prohibit private discrimination. The 14th Amendment says nothing about private discrimination, only discrimination by government.
Yes.
So.
Okay, he just threw egg on the face of this Zionist. She's a Zionist. She's a Zionist. All right, go look her up. Go look at all the confirmation hearing, any Christian judge who's getting confirmation, and see how they drilled them. All right. She thought she had Scalia, because Scalia is a staunch constitutionalist. He's an originalist. All right. You got some Supreme Court justices who believe that the Constitution is a living document, which means it changes with the time. And then you got some Supreme Court justices, they call them originalists. They believe that the Constitution don't change. All right. It's in its original form. All right. And that is something else that you need to be very aware of when you're talking about Supreme Court justices, how they view the Constitution. Okay. And that's another reason they wanted to get rid of Scalia. They didn't want him up there. He was appointed for life. He ended up mysteriously dead in Texas at a ranch, I believe at Breyer's place, if I'm not correct. Y'all go and check and make sure. And check out how Judge Scalia died. Go and check how he died. Now, he's telling this woman the 14th Amendment don't apply to private discrimination. Now, this is some very important information for people to understand. The Constitution don't have no application in the private. It is a public law. It has something to do with the public. It has to do with government. That's why he said it only deals with discrimination by government. That's why they can only regulate things that they receiving government funding from. Okay, if you're not receiving any government funding or in any kind of way subject to their regulation, they can't tell you can't discriminate. So if I got a private club and I only want black people to come, that's my right to do that. I can do that. That's why it's ridiculous. And I've seen Supreme Court justices say this. These people keep talking about discrimination. You keep talking about discrimination. Discrimination is only applicable if there's some sort of government regulation involved in it. If there's not no government regulation involved in it, people can discriminate all they want, because in the United States of America, this is a free country, okay, and we have what's called freedom of association. We have a right to privacy, once again. And that's why Scalia is telling you right here, the 14th Amendment don't have no application in private discrimination, only discrimination by government, because the word public means government. Y'all think public mean everybody outside together. Public mean government regulation. Public school, who owns it? The government. Public welfare, who you getting it from? The government.